Hey everybody, welcome to One Flight Down Basement Beer Tastings. Today we are looking at two beers from the Interlake Brewing Company in Gimli, Manitoba. Interlake's brand new. They just started last year, in 2021. This year, at some point, they're actually going to be opening their tap room in Gimli. At the moment, they're currently brewing out of Oxus Brewing in Winnipeg. They do contract brews for a lot of smaller upstart breweries, Interlake being one of them. But yes, they're supposed to be opening up their own space in Gimli sometime this year. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. In the meantime, let's try their beer. We're starting off with the Hoppy Pelican Dry Hopped Pale Ale. So it's looking pretty golden in color so far on this pour. See, definitely a golden color on the beer. Two-finger head at the moment. Might let that settle a little. You can smell the hops on this for sure. So I have had a couple of beers from Interlake Brewing before. I don't remember if this was one of them, to be honest. I know the second one I'm doing today I've never done before. This one... it's a dry hopped pale ale. It's the kind of thing I would definitely go for. I actually also did a review, like a quick taste review of one they put out at Christmas time called Winter Sky. It had cranberries in it, and my God, that was a good beer. I really, really enjoyed that. I'll leave the link to that video down in the description below, so you don't have to, look it up, but feel free to look through my channel. And I don't know, I think there's some pretty fun content on there. So go for a sniff here. Yeah, definitely getting the hops. Let's go for a taste, see what we get. Okay, it is definitely a hoppy beer. It wasn't initially as strong on the hop taste as I thought it would be from the smell. But then there's definitely a hoppy finish to it. Mouthfeel's it's a little bubbly on the mouthfeel. Quite nice actually. And it'll just bubbly, but with a little bit of a kind of a creaminess to it as well. Yeah, that's quite nice. There's a light citrus note in there. I'm thinking like very light, like a little bit of a lemon, I think. Citrusy note. And a bit of a floral kind of a taste to it as well. See what I can tell you from the can here. Pelicans are iconic to the Interlake, gracefully gliding by on a clear day. This pale ale is nothing like a pelican, but it is a balanced ale with some tasty fruity hops. We just love pelicans. It is 5% alcohol. It doesn't say anything about the IBUs or anything like that. I gotta say too, I really like their label designs. It's very... they've got a distinct look. You can pick them out right away. I think the images are very tasteful and everything. But yeah, there's nothing on the IBUs. Doesn't tell me a whole lot there. But it's pretty tasty. I quite like it. So what can I tell you about the brewery? Looking on their website here. It was started by Graham McLean and Kristen McCary. After years of brewing and traveling the world, they decided to come back to Manitoba and bring their experience and fresh ideas to their favorite place to be, the Interlake. So it looks like the brew house that they're going to be opening in Gimli will be a 500-liter brew house, making one of the smallest microbreweries in the province. Now, before we sample our next beer, I just need to take a moment for this very important public service announcement.
The Manitoba Craft Beer Reviewer, or CBR, is a distinct part of the genus Cerevisium artifex, and is often mistaken for another member of this genus, the North American hipster. There are, however, some simple ways to tell them apart. Both breeds are usually bearded and wear a lot of plaid with a tweed patty cap, but only the hipster paid $1,500 for their plaid shirt. The CBR's habitat is a basement bar that has been carefully crafted to impress and doubles as a backdrop for videos on the YouTube. Whereas the hipster lives at the back table in a coffee shop, working on chapter 1 of its novel that they have been working on for 3.5 years. The mating calls of these two species differs greatly. The CBR's mating call is a simple, whereas the hipster plays a terrible rendition of American Pie on their out-of-tune guitar. Both do drink beer, but the CBR takes 2 separate sips before commenting on the craft beer. The hipster, however, starts commenting before tasting their Pabst Blue Ribbon poured into a barnhammer glass. The best way to tell these species apart is that the North American hipster is between the ages of 25 to 30, and the CBR appears to be in its mid-60s. For more information about the Manitoba Craft Beer Reviewer, why not contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa?
Yeah, big thanks to my friend JBJ for putting that together completely unprompted. I gotta say, though, every word of that is pretty much true. I mean, I'm wearing the hat. Almost every word of that is true, except for the crack about my age. I am a youthful 52 years old. 53 in a matter of days. Maybe hours, depending when I get around to posting this. But anyways, let's move on to our next beer. This one is the Tripper Rye IPA. Now, I'm not usually a fan of rye ales. I don't know if I've had a rye IPA actually, but I've had rye ales, and they're pretty hit or miss for me. More often miss than hit, if I'm being honest. But I like everything else I've tried from Interlake, so I thought it's worth trying, and so why not do it here on the show, right? All right, here we go. So it pours out. Similar color to the last one, I think. Quite golden again. Maybe a little darker. A little bit darker, maybe. A little bit more of a red hue on it than the last one had. Maybe a little cloudier. The other one was quite clear. This one's a little cloudier in appearance. Yeah, on the nose, not much of anything, really. So before I dig in, let's just see what it says here on the can. Enjoy the journey. On your way to the lake, you can take the direct route or explore the back roads to see what you find along the way. This rye IPA is smooth with notes of citrus and rye malt. It is 6.3%. It says it's a strong beer. It's kind of funny. Adventures in craft beer for me has just kind of been like my definition of a strong beer has kind of changed. It's 6.3. I mean, yeah, it's a little on the stronger side, but it's like some of the stuff you're getting, you get into like double, triple IPAs, and some of those are coming in at like 9-10%, and yeah. So this feels like a manageable, strong beer. I'm getting a little bit of a hoppy note on the nose now that it's settled a little bit. But it's still quite light. So let's jump in. Yeah, it's not too bad. I am picking up a little bit of a citrus note, but I don't know if I would have picked it up initially without reading that. But that does kind of balance the rye a little bit. You definitely taste the rye in here, for sure. That's what I found when I've had rye ales in the past. I just find like that sweetness of the rye very overpowering. And I mean, I'm a guy who, before I even discovered beer, I loved rye whiskey. Although when it comes to whiskey, I'm a little more towards scotches and things like that these days than ryes. But anyway, yeah, I definitely taste a little bit of rye in there, but it's not super overpowering. The mouthfeel is not as bubbly as the last one. It's a little creamier than the last one was. And now that I'm drinking it more, I'm getting a bit of the rye on the finish than I was before. Still not too bad at all. Again, it's not usually a style that I go for, but it's not bad. I would drink it again. It's not my favorite thing Interlake has put out, but it's decent. It's very drinkable. I'm gonna enjoy this. Don't you worry, like you're worried. But no, I am gonna enjoy this. But compared to the dry hopped pale ale and the Winter Sky, and they even did a Earl Grey tea beer as well that I tried before. And again, not normally a style I'd go for, but I really like that. So generally, yeah, Interlake's doing a great job. I like most of the stuff that they're putting out. I look forward to visiting the tap room, hopefully this summer. We'll see what happens there. Anyways, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching the show. Stay sane, drink local. We'll do this again soon. Cheers.